Welcome to a Great Ideas for Teaching or gift. In this video, I'm going to cover Microsoft Forms. Specifically, we're going to look at why to use Microsoft Forms, where to create a form, how to create a form, and how to share a form. I'm specifically creating this video because I had an instructor reach out to me and ask, during a recent training, how is it that you had the QR code and we were able to respond in real time and view responses that looked a little bit like this, where there was a word cloud, and as people typed in, it was generating their live responses. Well, that's what I'm going to show you. The benefits of using Microsoft Forms is this is a great tool for collecting information in asynchronous, synchronous, online, in-person, HyFlex, hybrid, blended learning scenarios, and you can create them in advance or you can even do them on the fly. It is super easy to do. So that's pretty much the why you should use Microsoft Forms, especially if you're a Microsoft campus. But let's go ahead and look at where to create a form. So probably one of the easiest ways to get to where to create a form is to go to myapps.microsoft.com and sign in with your university's credentials or organization's credentials. You will see in that all of the apps that are available to you. So this is a great place to come for a lot of the tools and features that you may want to use. The next thing, the place that you could create one is actually in your email client. If you're logged into your Outlook, if you go up to the waffle iron menu, it should have forms there. If you do not see it, you would click more apps. So if you're using the online version of Outlook, it's already there for you in the menu item. So if I click on this, it'll take me to Microsoft Forms really quickly. And then finally, you can just go to forms.office.com and sign in with your organization's credentials, and it'll create that. So that's the why and where. So let's look at how to actually create a form. Once you're logged into the screen, it's pretty simple. You can click on new quiz or new form. Both of these are essentially the same. It's just that a quiz is great for teaching because if you set it up, and here I might put the course title or whatever the quiz is, and this is a great way to do like attendance if you want to check in on students or check on reading or something. You can create this in advance and then have them do it live in class. And it gives you all of the choices that you would have in a form. So choice, text, rating, Likert. You can have them rank things. You can even have them upload a file if they were supposed to type something and submit it when they get to class. You can have it set up for that. This does require that they are logged in to their client. I will explain that in a second. But let's go ahead and look at choice. Here you could, for example, have a quiz question. You can even make it multiple answer, and you can select what's right or wrong, which is not the same for a form where they would just fill in. The other thing is you can give feedback and explain why it's right or why it is wrong. So the quiz gives you the capability of actually treating it like a quiz, and you can even set some points, for example. If you wanted to just create a form, it's the same exact thing. Basically, add a title, add whatever you want, and then go ahead and go with it. Okay, so that's pretty much the how to create a form. There are a few things to note. You can go into style, and especially if you have time and you're setting it up. So for example, when I'm setting up an anonymous feedback form that students can submit at any time during the term and give me feedback, I like to go in and I set it to this one because it's great for the phone. And then I will also go into customize, and I'll go ahead and create my organization's custom color. The hex code for SIU, where I teach, is 66000, and then I can go back and I can select that one and it creates the custom color for me. So that's the settings or the styles. You can also go into settings here and you can choose who can fill out the form. If you're doing something, let's say live in a class, or you want it to be open to people outside of your organization, I would select anyone can respond. If you are going to have folks upload documents, you must select only people in your organization because it's going to create a file where they can load things, and you obviously want to be protective of security and viruses and stuff. And then you can also choose record a name. This is great if it's not anonymous and you don't want to create add your name and email in the form itself. So if you select this one, you do not need to request their name and email. That would be redundant. You could only allow them to respond once per person. You can set things like duration of time if you want the quiz to only be 10 minutes. You can set a start date and end date if you want to only restrict it to a certain time. You can go through all of these questions. I don't want to belabor it. But one thing you may want to collect, specifically if you're using forms to collect anonymous feedback during the term, is to add your email address. So it comes in irregularly, you would get an email notifying you that someone now has responded to your form. Again, this is great. For me, I always put the name and email as an option, but I select it as anyone can respond, therefore it is anonymous. But if a student wants to put their name in so I can reach back out to them once they've provided feedback, I love if they are able or want to do that. So that's pretty much all the logistics of why, where, and how. Let's look at how to share a form, and here's a couple of options for you. So if we go to that presentation here, what I do is once the form is created, if you want to present it in a live environment, what you're going to do is click Present. Now, it will have the QR code here, so if you have a projector screen, students could pull out their phones and scan that QR code, or if they're on their device, they can type in this form link. Sometimes I'll copy it and place it in the announcements of a learning management system, or if I'm on a Microsoft team, I can put it in the chat. People can click on it. Once they start sharing information, particularly if there's like text-based questions, which is what this one was, right? If I go back to that, it's just a text-based question. It's going to show it like this. Now, if it was a multiple choice question, it would show their responses and I can see all responses. If I have multiple questions, I can actually go through them by clicking these arrows down here. So that gives you a sense of how to collect it. So I love this option if students are having a debate in class and I want to provide an opportunity for them to debrief close to the end of the meeting, so they have some time to put down their thoughts, or if they felt like they couldn't share their opinions in the live classroom, I go ahead and do it, share it with them, and they can type in their responses. So this is a great way to do that. Now, if I'm going to create a form that I want to share, say in a PowerPoint in advance or in my syllabus or in my learning management system, what I'll do is I'll go to Collect Responses. Again, you get those same options from the setting, and then you get this URL here, and you can click Shorten Link. So if I'm going to do anyone can respond, I'm going to shorten the link and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come to a private browser and I'm going to go ahead and place it in there, and you'll see that this proves that you don't have to log in. The other thing to note is if you don't do a shortened URL, it can get quite long. So this is the short URL. Still not easy to type in, so I'm going to show you another trick. I can also click here and get the QR code. So if I wanted to, I could copy this image and let's say go back to my presentation and put that in there, and now anybody can scan this QR and respond to that form that I've created. If I go back over to the form here, I can even click here and embed it on a web page or in my learning management system's content area. That's beyond the scope of this video, but it gives you all the ways in which you can share. And you can, again, select specific people, you can choose to record name, and so on. The final way that you can create a URL and link is to use a service something like Bitly. You can have a free Bitly account. It does allow you to create something like 10,000 links a month. And you can copy the URL, place it there, and then click Create Your Bitly. You can also create QR codes here. So you can see all the different QR codes I've ever created for different events. You can even go to links, and you will see that for that link we were looking at, I had already created one, and I retitled it so you can customize the URL, and I put 1010 because the meeting we had was on October 10th, and I just wrote scenario 2 because I had 2 scenarios. And this just makes it easy for people to kind of add it and type it into their address bar versus that long sort of one that Microsoft generates. So that's a simpler way to do it. So that's pretty much it. I walked you through why to use a Microsoft form, where to create a form, how to create a form, and how to share a form. The next thing is let me know if you need more videos or explanations, and also if you have great ideas for teaching, go ahead and put them in the comments area if you're watching this on a platform that allows for commenting. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. Happy teaching and learning.